It is hereby declared that the production of the said content is meant for non-commercial, scholastic, and research purposes only. We admit that some of the content or the images provided in this channel's video may be obtained through the routine Google image searches, and few of them may be under copyright protection. Such usage is completely inadvertent. It is quite possible that we overlook to give full scholarly credit to the copyright owners. We believe that the non-commercial, only for educational use of the material, may allow the video in question fall under fair use of such content. However, we honor the copyright holders' rights, and the video should be deleted from our channel in case of any such claim received by us or reported to us. It is located. I think you guys used to come near that DMart, Crystal Mall, Crystal Mall. Yeah. So it is very nearby to that area. Guys, please be online. I'm sharing the slides. Okay. So, day before yesterday, we have gone through with the cost leadership strategy as far as business level strategy is concerned. So, we have discussed about the 5 business level strategy. In that, cost leadership we have done. Then after we have gone through with the video by Captain Raghu, and now we are moving forward to the strategy number 2, differentiation strategy. Let's start with that. Do you have any doubts for the first one, cost leadership? You used to change your place every day. You used to change your place every day. That's good. New place, new vibes. Okay. So now we'll go with the second one. So So the second strategy is related to the differentiation. How much differentiated product you are giving to your customers. If product is truly differentiated, then people will be ready to pay handsome amount. People are ready to spend much. If your product is differentiated in terms of its features, specifications, and attributes, so customers perceive as being different. Your customers must feel that whatever the products he or she has purchased, it's having some sort of different characteristics and features. Like if you guys have your iPhone, if you guys have your smartphones, if you guys have your certain electronic gadgets, and you feel that yes, this is the differentiated one, this is non-standardized product, and whatever the amount I have spent, it's value for money, it's worth to spend, then the company is following differentiation strategy. Now the price for product can be extended because it's a non-standardized product. If standardized product is there, then the price will be the regular. But this is the no standardized product. This is the differentiated product. So prices will be high as compared to the low cost leadership. Non-standardized product is not available at cheaper rate. You have to pay premium extra charges for this differentiation product. Then it will be a non-standardized product and the customers value differentiated features more than they value low cost. After 3 years, certain changes took place in the economy. After 5 years, certain changes took place in the lifestyle, in the attitudes, in the trends. And accordingly, when customers feel that I would like to pay more for the differentiated product as compared to the low cost. I don't want to go with the low cost product, I want to go with the differentiated product. When customers feel that, then you are the winner in the market. Like before COVID, if we talk about the aviation industry, everyone, including certain big personalities, used to travel in economy class only. But nowadays, the trend has been changed. People would love to travel in business class. They are ready to spend much because they feel that economy and business class having vast differences. And whatever the price gap is there, it's worth to spend. For example, in economy, you are paying 10,000 rupees. In business class, you are paying 15,000 rupees. So it's worth to spend because you feel that yes, business class is a different one. And it's good to pay 5,000 rupees extra for the business class. So customers value differentiated features more than they value low cost. Now, differentiation strategy, how you can generate differentiation strategy. So, unique product features, you must have certain unique product features and product performance. Let me give you an example, real life example, the JLR. Have you heard the name of JLR, Jaguar and Land Rover? Car manufacturing company number second in the Great Britain, now owned by Tata Group. Tata Motors is the parent company of JLR, Jaguar and Land Rover. So they have a car like a Discovery, Range Rover Discovery, Range Rover Evoque, Range Rover Velar, and Range Rover Vogue and Sport. So now you see the product performance and attributes are quite agile. It's really very nice. Let me give you. If you are driving your car in a single lane, now somehow because of certain reasons, automatically your lane get changed. Then your car will give you alert that you are changing your lane. It will vibrate your seats, it will vibrate your handles and all steerings, and make you feel that something wrong is doing. It will give some alarms and all, and make you feel that you are changing your lane. So this is a new product features. Then you are going at a speed of 150 miles per hour, and suddenly a tractor, truck, or you can say other scooters or a boy or something like that, suddenly it came in between. So car will automatically brake. Car will automatically reduce the speed 150 to 30 miles per hour. This is what the technology, this is what the new product, this is what the differentiated product that JLR, Jaguar and Land Rover is giving. So if you have a unique product features, if you have a unique product performance, then you can command premium prices. The JLR is charging very high. The basic model start with the 65 lakh rupees, Indian rupees. So this is the best example. If you have something unique in your product, people are ready to spend. So for that, you must have unique product features and unique product performance so that you can charge premium prices. Then the exceptional services like Mercedes is providing really great services. For example, if you have purchased Mercedes, BMW, Audi, any three or anyone, they will give you annual maintenance service free of cost for next 5 years. Now in that, what they are providing all over India, if you are running all over the India and at any damn point the petrol and diesel got empty, so you just give a call to BMW or Mercedes or Audi, their executive will come to you and give you free petrol, free diesel. Now you are going somewhere, like a girl is going somewhere and suddenly tire got punctured. So girls might be not aware about how to change the tires, how to use the Stephanie and all. You just give a call, their executive, their mechanic will come and change the tire. You are running somewhere in the India and your car suddenly got stuck. You call them, they will come, they will try to repair it, and if it is not getting fixed, they will give you another car to travel. So these are the exceptional services that few companies are providing, and they are charging high for this. But yes, it's really worth to spend. So exceptional services are there. Superior quality. If you are giving superior quality, like the Skoda is giving, Skoda India, belongs to the automobile manufacturing company. They clearly says that we obsessed highly with quality. We are charging high, but same time rest assured for the quality, whatever the quality we are giving, it's one of the best amongst the industry. So rapid innovation, you have to come with the constant innovation. It is not like that once you have come up with a new product and it will last for a longer time of period. No. Constantly you have to come up with the rapid innovation. First year, come up with the innovation. Second year, come up with another innovation. Third year, come up with totally different product and something like that. So totally innovation, rapid innovation is required if you want to be in the market. Then new technologies, you have to use the latest technology. Previously, if you talk about the before 15 to 20 years, not even a single car was coming with the airbags, ABS, anti-lock braking system, EBD, electronic brake distributions, the latest technology. But nowadays, if you see, almost each and every car is come up with the airbag, ABS, EBD, and few other. So for that, they are using new technologies. So usage of new technology is must if you want to give something different to your customers. Then exceptional skills or experiences that matters a lot. For example, if I have purchased this mask and if I'm saying that yes, it's worth to spend, I'm feeling that this mask is really differentiated from all other regular masks. Then if I'm satisfied, if I'm experiencing something new in this mask, then it is worth to spend. Your 10% loyal customers will give you 90% new business. So most important aspect is your customer must feel that whatever product they have purchased, it's truly differentiated or somehow differentiated from the standardized product. Our product is non-standardized, and whatever the amount we have paid, it is worth to spend. So when your customers feel this, you are the winner in the market. Yes. Which one? Command premium prices. If your product have something unique features, if your product have something great performance, like if I talk about tire company, Michelin. Have you heard the name of this tire company? Michelin. They come up with new tire that won't blast even if the temperature goes up to 120 degree, not Fahrenheit, 120 degree. So it's really very unique product, and its features is also very unique. So at that time they can charge high. If you go to purchase normal Michelin tire, it will cost you 1000 rupees. But if you go with this particular Michelin tire, it will cost you maybe 2500 or 3000 rupees. So the price is high because the product performance is also high as compared to the standardized. So that's why you can charge high. Which one? Rapid innovation. The constant innovation you guys have to do. Like the Michelin tire is there since 30 years. So after every 2-3 years, they come up with certain new technologies. They come up with a certain new innovations. Before, I think 7 to 8 years, they come up with a tire that easily run in a slippery road. Then after they come up with such a tire that won't slip in wet surfaces. So you have to always come up with certain new things, certain new innovations, rapid innovations. So your customers will feel that yes, the product is differentiated. So this is how it works. And if you are following any one of these, then we can say your company belongs to or your company is following differentiation strategy. I like. Any other questions? Good. It's better to ask. Instead of keeping in your mind, it's better to ask. Now for this, how you can do all those things that we have discussed in the last slide. You can develop new systems and processes for achieving great heights, for getting premium prices, for creating rapid innovations, for generating best features and product attributes. You have to develop new systems and processes. You have to come up with, you have to go with the, manual to semi to fully automatic machines, and then only it can be possible. Then setting perception through advertising. You have to do advertising in such a way that your customers will feel that yes, whatever the product I'm using is little bit different. Like the Red Bull, you guys might have drink that Red Bull. In the advertisement of Red Bull, they have clearly written Red Bull gives you wings. But do you actually feel that? But no, then also the company has advertised in such a way that people are feeling once they drink the Red Bull, then they feel yes, I'm having good stamina and something like that. And it will refer or it will recommend it to others also. So you have to advertise your product in such a way where your customers feel that yes, this is differentiated one. So advertisement also matters. Then quality focus, 100%, no compromise with the quality, unmatched quality. If it is there, then it's good. Then capability in R&D, how much you are able to spend in the research and development. That is again play an important role, a vital role in the success of your company. If you are not able to spend much on research and development, if you don't have that much capability to invest research and development, you can't come up with the rapid innovation. Whatever the innovations you have done in the past, you have to continue the same innovation for a longer time of period because you are not spending much on research and development. Then how it is possible to come up with a new product that have new features, that have new attributes? Not possible. America, Japan, Israel, few countries are there. They are spending almost 10% behind research and development from their actual annual budgets, and that's why they are far better. They are far higher. So, how much you are capable to spend in research and development will decide your company's future. If you are ready to spend much, likewise, Google is spending Apple is spending. Apple is the best example. They always come up with the new. And nowadays, people having expectations from the Apple 2, that if Apple 10 or Apple X or Apple 10 Plus and something like that, they come up with this technology. So now whatever the new phone, Apple 11 or Apple 12 or Apple 13, whatever the new phone will be there in the market, definitely it will have some unique features, right? You guys are expecting. So this is what we can say they can do, because they are spending much. They do have capability in research and development. It will create your good image. It will create your good rapport. It will create your brand name in the market, and that belongs to your capability in R&D. If you always come up with new product, new features, new innovation, it shows that you are spending much on R&D, that is research and development, and it is the heart of your business. If you want to go with the differentiation strategy, then maximize human resource contribution that allows low turnover and high motivation. Whatever the manpower is there in your company, make sure that manpower must be with you on an average time period of 3 years. Then after, if they want to be with you, that's really very good. But your employees should not leave their job before 3 years. Because if any employee join the company for the first 6 months, it's a startup for them. It's a papa pugly for them. They used to walk how to walk in the company. They got trained for the company's philosophy. They got the basic concept how the company get operates and all those things. So after 6 months, they actually get stable in the company. So later on, they can give the best contribution for the betterment of the company. So at least for 3 years, your employees should be in your company only. If they leave your company before 3 years, then you are in loss. Means company is in loss, because the employee turnover ratio will be high, and that is actually not good for the company. Right now, 2 companies. The first one is Google and the second one is Amazon. They are the world's best employees. Awarded world's best employees, because they do take a really very good care of their employees. That's why they are rocking nowadays. And you see the innovations that they guys are doing, because they are investing in their manpower also. And after all, it is the men, it is the woman only who come up with new innovations, who come up with new suggestions, who actually inspire you to find out something new. And that's why the companies are far ahead. Then how to obtain differentiation advantages? Like a lower buyer cost. It is good that you are in the market with different product. Appreciate. But make sure the prices should not be very much high as compared to standardized product. The example that I have shared, in aviation industry, in flight, economy class and business class. Now economy class is available at 1000 rupees and business class is available at 5000 rupees. Then I hope and I believe that you guys won't prefer business class, because the price difference is too high as compared to the differentiation that you are getting. The differentiation, or you can say the product features and attributes, is not that much differentiated that you can pay the 4 times higher price as compared to the standardized product. So make sure price must be somehow in comparison with the low cost product. If economy class is available at 1000, business class should be available in and around of 2000. Then people will ready to spend. So lower buyer's cost, you have to keep these things in your mind. Then raise performance of the product and services, and whatever the product or services you are providing, make sure the services should be up to the mark. People must feel that whatever the amount we have spent, it's value for money. Let me share 2 experiences. I was there in Switzerland, and Mount Titlis is one of the best place in Switzerland. People used to go there. Those who travel Switzerland, you can ask to any person. Those who travel haven't traveled Mount Titlis. We went to Glacier 3000 because it's a different place and we have spent extra money for that. And whenever we reach there, we feel the environment and we feel that whatever the extra amount we have spent, it's value for money. So this is how you have to give satisfaction to your customers that yes, if you are spending higher, don't worry, we are here. We will give you, extreme services and will make you please, will make you attract towards our new product, or you can say towards our differentiated product. Like the Apple is doing since long. Apple 10, or you can say Apple X, cost you 1,20,000 or something. But whenever you purchase that phone, you feel that yes, it's value for money. So differentiated product, or you can say a brand name, or you can say the goodwill, or you can say the social status. These are the factors that also matters. And company are taking due or undue advantages of their brand name. Then create sustainability through customer perception of uniqueness. Your customer must feel that whatever the product you have shared or whatever the product you have purchased, it's unique. Again, one example from my side only. I was there in Malaysia. So in Thailand, I was there in Thailand, and we were there at Coral Island. So where they used to go with what we can say scuba diving. Yes, exactly, scuba diving. So few consultants were there, or you can say the few boatmen were there who used to provide certain services. So the one is charging 2,000 baht and the another one is charging 3,000 baht, but they provide different services. The second one who charge 3,000 baht, they are providing extremely exponentially good services. Very few people goes to that person because they are charging high. But yes, when I have spent 3,000 baht, I feel that whatever the services they have provided, it's value for money. Because the one who charged 2,000, they will let you go in sea up to 10 feet only. But these guys, those who charge 3,000, they used to allow you to go inside up to 50 feet. So it's a new experience. The 10 feet height is like this only. 10 feet height, it's enough, it's fine. But the one who is, charging 3,000, they allow you to go 50 feet inside the sea, like almost this building. So it's, unique experience, and it makes sense to spend 3,000 baht. So customer perception of uniqueness. Your customer must feel that whatever the thing, whatever the services I have purchased, it's unique. It make me feel something different, and that's why I'm ready to spend high. Like very basic example, if you guys travel through train, so you will find general coach, AC 3 tire, AC 2 tire, first class and all. So they are charging according to the facilities they are providing. Then customer reluctance to switch to non-unique product. Nowadays, customer have certain mindset that it's high time for the standardized product. Now it's time to switch to non-standardized product. Like if you talk about the early 90s or early 2000, you might have seen that people used to wear jeans that has bell bottom, or you can do you guys know bell bottom jeans where this bottom is very much big. So previously it was trend like that, but nowadays people used to wear skinny jeans. So where people feel that it's time to change. So at that time, if you have differentiated product, your product will be on top. So you have to keep certain things in mind, so that will also keep your cost in control, and same time it will create good value of your product in the customer's mind. Now risk will be always there. Risk is a part of any business. Risk is always there. Now customers may decide the price difference between the differentiated product and the cost-leader product is too large. When your customers feel that there is a very big price gap between standardized product and non-standardized product, like I have shared that economy class 1,000 rupees and business class 5,000 rupees. So very big, too large difference is there. So if your customer feel that, then it's of no use. Then people are not going to purchase your product. If you are using this Kinley mineral water and in the market, Himalaya is there, they are charging 80 rupees, or you can say the 65 rupees per liter. But both the products are almost same. There is no clear-cut differentiation in the specification, or you can say attributes, then you are not going to pay high. You will be with Kinley only, 20 rupees only. You are not going to spend 65 or 70 rupees. So if your customer feels that there is no such differentiation, there is no such attributes on which I should spend much, so at that time your differentiation strategy will be killed like anything. So it's a biggest risk. Then means of differentiation may cease to provide value for which customers are willing to pay. You have to identify same time that your customer's choice, they need, wants, demands, and accordingly you have to charge the prices. It's not like that you come up in the market with the differentiated product so you can charge n number of things. No, it is not like that. Customers are wise, customers are rational. They know how to spend, they know on which particular things they should spend. Then experience may narrow customers' perception of the value of differentiated features of the firm's product. The product is not truly differentiated. If your customer feel that, it's a failure for you. Narrow targeted customers are there. If they feel that product is not truly differentiated, it's of no use for your company. And makers of counterfeit goods may attempt to replicate. It might be possible that after 2 years, after 3 years, your competitors might copy, might replicate your differentiation strategy and can make you behind. So these are the risks for differentiation strategy. Any doubts for this, guys? Differentiation? Any doubts for differentiation? Okay, online students. Okay, great. Then we'll move to the next one. Next one is post focus and differentiation focus. Here only one difference is there. In the post leadership, the first one that we have learned, the second one that is differentiation. In the first two strategies, as far as business growth strategies are concerned, the first one and the second one was targeting broader market, mass. Now, the third and fourth one, focused strategy, post focus and differentiation focus. Now, this strategy are targeting small group, or you can say narrow market. They are not targeting the bigger market. They are not targeting the mass. They are targeting class. Now, let's go with the focus strategies. A focus strategy must exploit a narrow target difference from the balance of the industry by particular buyer group. Now, in this strategy, what company is supposed to do? They have to identify a particular buyer group, and then only the product or services will be served to that particular buyer group only. You can say a kind of niche marketing. The product is reserved for that particular group only. Like the space travel, it is specifically for the super rich class. Agree? It is for specifically super rich class. Now the Parle-G is specifically for those who are not ready to spend high. Then Rolls-Royce are particularly for those who wants to spend much. Right? Let me give you an example. One person was there who wants shiny color, diamond cut shiny color on the Rolls-Royce. So what Rolls-Royce owner has done, or you can say the company has done, company has purchased original diamond. Then they make a crush of it, melted with the colors, and then they coated the same color on the outer body. And now the car is shining like diamond shines. So this is how, if you are ready to spend, you will get whatever the things you want in the world. But depends on the businesses. So particular buyer group, this strategy is targeting a particular buyer group, and it is valid for those buyer groups only. Like if you are using pen or pencils, erasers and something like that, it is with the target of students only, because majority of the pen, pencil, eraser, sharpener will be purchased by students only, right? So accordingly, you have to identify a particular buyers group. Then unique segment of a product line, you have to come up with a unique segment of a product line. N number of products should be there in your portfolio that particular buyer group is ready to purchase, and same time particular geographic market. It is not like that your company is international. No, you are targeting a particular target, particular buyer group, particular geographic area. Like if you talk about Marwadi, then Marwadi University is in Rajkot only. But if you talk about the MET, then MET is available there in the Uzbekistan also. So Marwadi is focusing on Rajkot and India. Later on, if it is possible, you might see that another branch of Marwadi University is there in the Mumbai or Maharashtra. Later on, it will be there in the south. Later on, it will be there on the north. So accordingly, you have to decide in which particular geographic area you want to target your customers. Now, same, we have two strategy, cost leadership and differentiation, but for narrow market only, for a limited customers only, not for the mass, for the class only. Now, factors that may drive Factors that may drive focus strategies, like large firm may overlook small niche. In certain cases, the big company, giant company, who used to target mass, sometimes they forget to target very small market. And in certain cases, small industrialists, small businessmen target that particular group, like mass targeting and class targeting. Some big companies, giant companies are targeting mass. So now those who left out from that mass belongs to class, and at that time, other companies will take advantage of that situation. Then firm may lack resources to compete in the broader market. Now I want to target mass when I don't have that much capabilities to produce, generate, manufacture. So what I'm doing, I'm targeting a particular group. Let me start with one short story. Balaji Lothar. Balaji Lothar is really very big name nowadays. So initially what they have done, they have targeted Rajkot only, because they don't possess that much manufacturing capabilities. So they have targeted Rajkot only. Later on, when they feel that now we do have good technology, they have targeted Saurashtra region. Later on, they come up with another technology, then they have targeted entire Gujarat geographical area. Now, when they do have a bigger strategy, or you can say the bigger technology, or you can say the bigger capability to invest in the machinery and all, now they are targeting entire India. So accordingly, the group will be scattered, depends on your financial capabilities. So firm may lack resources to compete in the broader market. They don't have that much resources. So they were playing in the Rajkot only. But now they do have higher resources. That's why they are playing at the national level. Then may be able to serve a narrow market segment more effectively and more better way than those of the mass. Let me give you my own example. My restaurant capacity is occupying by 80% only. If 80% comes to my restaurant, I can give best services to them. But what if at a time 100 customers will be there? So then service issues will be there. People dissatisfied in certain manners. So if I want to avoid dissatisfaction of the customers, what should I do? I should serve. I should attend only 80 customers, not more than that. So the same is written here. A firm may be able to serve narrow market in an effective manner, and if they want to go for the broader market, the customers might feel dissatisfied. So it's better to serve particular that group only. Focus may allow the firm to direct resources to certain value chain activities to build up competitive advantages. The value chain analysis, primary activities, supportive activities. In primary activities, inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, after sales services. In secondary, or you can say supportive activity, firm infrastructure, human resource, technology, and procurement. So if your firm is targeting a particular small group, then you can focus on any of the value chain analysis activity, and you can convert those activities in your competitive advantage, in your capabilities, in your X factor, in your unique sales proposition. Now risk will be always there. Major risk: firm may be out-focused by the competitors. Those who are there in the market, the bigger one, they might ignore you. They might consider you as a player because you are targeting very small group. But same time, if you are targeting very small group and you are earning handsome from that group, then it may be possible that bigger shark will come to grab you. Bigger shark will come to take over your company. So it's about obvious. If you are small, it also shows that you have less resources. That's why you are working at small level. Now, if bigger companies see that your small company is working very nice and earning very nice, so that big company will also jump to your business, and later on it will be a bad time for you. So firm may be out-focused by the competitors. Then large competitor may set its sights on your niche market. If large company looks that yes, this company is very small, but they are earning really very nice, so now let's start the same business, then it will be bad time for you. And preferences of niche market may change to match those of broad market. Same time, you have to aware about the customer preferences that changes frequently. Now if you go to Haryana, Ludhiana, you have heard this name. These are the cities of India, Haryana, Ludhiana. They are very great in manufacturing of jeans, t-shirts and all. So now they are doing really very nice in India. Before 5 years, before 10 years, if you talk about, they were rocking. Majority of the Indian people used to wear jeans, t-shirts, shirts, and those produced by the Ludhiana and Haryana market. But now what they are doing? Now the bigger companies like Levi's, Spiker, UCB, and few other companies are coming to the market. That's why now their target market is reducing day by day. Their market share is reducing day by day because big company came into those businesses, and it's the biggest risk for them. So it might be possible that niche market may change their preferences and divert to the multinational brand or national brand. Now the last one is integrated strategy. Integrated is mixing of both, where company is focusing on cost leadership as well as differentiation. So whatever the product they are producing, it's not up to the mark. Not up to the mark in the sense it is not truly differentiated nor truly low cost product. It's stuck in between. Prices will be little bit higher than the low cost, and product is little bit differentiated than the truly differentiated product. It will be in between. So successful firm using this strategy and earn above average return. Now it depends on the market, in which particular market you are hitting. So if your strategy is successful, integrated strategy you are using, where prices are little bit high and product is little bit differentiated, then it depends on the market whether customer accept that product or not. Because where you can see the efficiency relatively low cost, but not as low as low cost leadership. The product won't cost that much low. It will be little bit higher. Like the regular pen that you are using, SS pen, 2.5 rupees. Another company come with the little bit differentiation in that pen and sell it to 3.5 rupees, but not differentiated, not low cost, not truly differentiated, not truly low cost, stuck in middle, stuck in between. And the differentiation, some differentiated features, but not truly differentiated. So certain companies are using this strategy too for their companies. $11.50 or 11:45 timings. 40. Okay, no problem. So guys, we'll keep up to this only, and in the next lecture we'll start with the integrated strategy. I request you to write down your name and enrollment number in the chat box. So that's it for the guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend. Take care. Thank you.